Well, lads, we're at the Cup. We're at the League Cup, Carabao Cup. Everton 4, West Ham 1. This is your highlights and words. This is our review. I'm Anton. I'm joined by Alf and Matt. You can tell that my voice is just defeated. I am a defeated man tonight. We've just watched the game, guys. Alf.
Well, you're defeated. You're defeated, just like our team was defeated. We were played off the park essentially. We kind of almost had a little bit of a fight for the first half. Second half, we started great, with a great goal by Snodgrass. But then, as soon as that, they just stepped it up. They just got an extra spring in their step. They took it to us, and we never had a look in. When it was still 1-1, screaming for subs. We went 2-1, screaming for subs, and then it just went further and further away from us. And no subs, no difference, no chance, no point in even playing the game if we're going to be like that.
And that, ladies and gentlemen, is our review for tonight. So thank you very much.
It is essentially. It is.
No, it is. It is. It's a good.
Scott Randall here in the comments. Look, Alf's face says it all. Well, there you go.
You've just summarised it, though. To be fair, Alf, and I can't completely deny anything you said. Very briefly, let's go through some of the game and some of the things that happened in the game. Let's look at our starting lineup, Matt. Yeah. What was your thoughts generically of the starting lineup?
I thought the back line looked quite good. I think it was a surprise for Creswell. I thought the front four looked good. But I think, as me and you pointed out in the preview last night, if he played with Snoddy and Nobes, we were going to get overrun. And guess what? They played the two of them, we got overrun. If there was any other case of that we need to bring in another midfielder, just think if Rice or Souček get injured, one of them's got to step in and it will not work. Because they can't cover the midfield. They can play as a 3, but when we play as this 2, they can't cover the ground. And the way we played, you might as well play the kids.
Well, Alf, Matt makes a valid point there. I mean, how disappointed are you that you didn't see maybe the continuation of the starting lineup? Like, what were West Ham trying to do tonight in changing some of the setup? Like, Ashby dropped to the bench. Alessi wasn't even in the squads. Some fans at the start were calling for a stronger starting lineup than what we put out against Charlton and Hull. But from us watching the game, we were definitely calling for some of the younger players to show their consistency, and tonight would have been a potential.
Look, the thing is that there's two ways of looking at this. You either put out the kids, as it were, which I thought had been really great the last couple of games, and you throw the game because they're just not good enough for a Premier League, to go up against a Premier League team. I understand that, but we've thrown away the game anyway. So by not making the substitution, so you might as well have played the kids in the first place, and just be done with it. I actually think that Ashby before he went off and Alessi had fantastic games. So certainly Alessi should have been in there. If he's not in there, and you want to take this game seriously, you should not have Rice in the back. You should have a Bonner there because that's his position. Let's face it, and that's what he should be there, not on the subs bench. Put Rice in the middle, Snodgrass alongside him or whatever, and Souček as well, and just go for it. It was just.
I call for consistency week in and week out, and for every season that I've seen us do it, finally we saw 2 potential 11s starting, and we saw consistency with players in the back getting to know who they were, getting to play with each other. Now, I'm not denying remotely that Declan Rice is a fantastic central defender, but for tonight, he would have been more suited in that midfield role, and West Ham to play the partnership of either Balbuena and Ogbonna or Balbuena and Alessi. So it felt like it was another mix-up in the defence that just wasn't needed for a game tonight.
Yeah, you basically had 2 Carabao Cup games. We played really well, and that was the second team, if you like, the second 11, as you said. And they were all happy. They were playing with each other. They were playing out their skin. Yes, low league opposition and all that, but the whole point is that the mentality, the togetherness there, and the attitude of that 11 playing together was really strong, and we've totally disrupted that. We've totally disrupted it with a team that's a bit of the Premier League starting 11 and a bit of the Carabao Cup starting 11. It just didn't work. You either play one or the other. You don't make you can't mix and match two teams that effectively don't even work with each other at the moment.
Yeah, absolutely. Matt, let's talk about, Everton had a starting lineup. It was a really strong starting lineup, but let's just talk about, I suppose, their main man of the moment. I mean, what a signing this lad is. James Rodriguez. I mean, he literally ran rings round all the West Ham midfield. I mean, there was no one there that could keep up with him at all today, really, was there?
Oh, I said it during the live stream. That guy is, the term world class gets thrown around a lot these days for players that aren't world class. They're just top class. He was by far the best player on that pitch.
Yeah.
And I don't mean that disrespectfully, because they had Richarlison on the pitch for a while. It wasn't close. He was literally head and shoulders above anyone else on that pitch. You can see why he's won championships and Champions Leagues at Real Madrid and Bayern Munich. You struggle now to look at why did no one else pick him up. I know that Ancelotti got the best out of him when he was at Bayern Munich and he had him on loan there, but he ran that midfield. He absolutely dominated it. You can see why as well that Ancelotti brought 3 players in. He brought in Doucouré and Allen for the guys to do the legwork, do the dirty stuff, to then let the luxury player, the world-class player, James, just drift and do what he wants. And that's what he done. Sometimes he was on the wing, sometimes he came inside. But whatever he wanted to do, we had no way of stopping him. Yeah. He reminded me very much of like when we brought in Payet the first season, the last season at Upton Park. Where when Payet got on the ball, Payet knew what he was going to do, and you were not stopping him doing it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The thing is, though, comments are coming in there. Comments are coming in and saying that, if you maybe had a player to match him in the midfield, and the player potentially could have been Declan Rice, and I'm not saying he would have matched him, but he would have definitely given it a better shot. I think, when you've got James Rodriguez in the middle of the park against Noble and Snodgrass, it's never really going to do you wonders.
We said this in the preview last night, didn't we? And I said to you, and we both agreed that if the two of them played together, we were going to get overrun. It's exactly what happened.
Yeah.
And it makes you wonder if us sitting as, quote unquote, armchair quarterbacking, as the Americans call it, sitting here on a YouTube channel saying, if we play them against them, we're going to get overrun. Is it, if we can see it, what did David Moyes see?
Yeah. The thing is, you either, kind of reading between the lines of the comments here, you either play for this game, because Everton came out with their best, their better team, let's say.
I think they only made about 3 changes from their first.
They weren't messing around. And to say, well, actually, you either come out and give it the respect that it deserves because it's a Premier League team. They're going for it. We've got to go for it as well. And we just didn't. We just didn't really go for it.
Let's have a look at the let's have a look at the first goal. I think it was it Keane played the ball out from the back.
One ball
really big ball over the top. And I said through the preview that Everton's weakness tonight was their defence, because they actually looked like they panicked a lot in defence and they were trying to play the ball. Their game, and Ancelotti made their game, which was get the ball to the midfield very quickly. The quicker you get that ball to midfield, let them do all the hard work, and then you just protect them at the back line. But, if West Ham had pressed them a little bit further, put a lot more pressure on them, then we may have had opportunities. But unfortunately, what happened was we did press a little bit too far. He pinged the ball over the top. Calvert-Lewin, we can't deny it. He beat Declan Rice to the ball. Yeah, unbelievable first touch and a good goal past the keeper to make it 1-0. There was nothing really stopping it, and we're coming up against that extremely confident young English centre forward who's now banged in, got a hat trick against West Ham tonight. I think he's banged in 7 or 8 goals in 5 or 6 games.
8 goals in 6 games he's got now at the start of the season. It's
complete and utter madness from the guy. It was an absolute wonderful goal, and they've obviously got a great find there. But that's what it was, and we kind of kept going into the game. The first half in particular, Alf. It wasn't the worst West Ham performance in the first half, was it?
No, I don't think the players played terribly. I just think they were being largely outplayed in those critical moves by Everton, who were just whipping the ball around quicker, making quicker decisions to pass the ball and make long passes as well, and getting shots on goal. But we weren't terrible. They were just better at it. We kept in there. We had our chances. I can't say we didn't, but we weren't really having shots on goal. I think Rich said at half time, we need to have more shots on goal. And that was evident. We came out and we scored. Great. But then nothing happened.
So, here, like Matt pinpointed in the first half that West Ham had actually the most possession in the first half stats. But you can see there, though, we were definitely lacking on shooting at goal, because I think most of the last maybe 7 or 8 games, West Ham have had really, really high chances at goal, but we've just not been doing that. Obviously tonight in particular, but we came out in the second half, no substitutions between the sides, and you literally, from the off, the ball got fed through to Anderson, fed the ball through to Snoddy, who curled an outswinger into the bottom right-hand corner of the Everton goal to make it 1 each, and you can't help but feel, Matt, that was an opportunity for West Ham to really kind of charge on from there.
It was almost like, I always talk about this when I say West Ham play Liverpool or Man City. You know, like, especially when we play Man City. Like, we play Man City and they go 2-0 up. And then if we start playing, Man City go, well, we're going to up it again. And it's almost like we came out for the second half and we caught them napping for the first 4 or 5 minutes. So the ball come across, Snoddy whips in a goal. And it's almost like that was like a slap in the face for them. And they were like, what are you doing? Yeah. And it just woke them up and kicked them into a high gear. And like I said, the first half, like Alf said, it was we were in the game. They had most of the possession, but it was like, you know, it was 50-50. We were in the game. They had better attacking possession. Second half, we scored. Apart from that, we got absolutely battered.
We absolutely did, mate. And really, the battle was won in the midfield, really from the whole game. But then they had to have quality up top, which they did in Calvert-Lewin. Again, like I said, he got a hat-trick. He walked away with 3 goals tonight. He just completely found...
The thing is, he likes running in behind Calvert-Lewin.
Yeah.
And with James and Richarlison and Sigurdsson, they were constantly feeding balls in behind our back line. And that is the one point where we missed Antonio tonight, is that nothing was fed in behind.
Yeah.
At no point did we make the defenders turn and run against their own goal.
Yeah.
Everything was in front of him, which was easy to play.
A lot of service. No real effective crosses into him.
We weren't crossing. We were lumping balls in, hoping. Yeah. You know, that you go to the goal he scored when he came off the bench against Wolves.
Yeah.
Masuaku crossed the ball in to him.
Yeah.
No matter who put crossing today, that weren't crosses into him.
Yeah.
They were just chucking it into the box and going, I'll see what he can do with it. And like, he was unlucky. Don't forget, he had a bicycle kick. One time that someone actually picked him out, Yarmolenko picked him out. He put it on his chest and hit a bicycle kick.
Sure.
And it was well saved. But that was the one time in 94 minutes that someone actually played it into the box to Haller and just lumped a ball in to see what happened.
Yeah.
Alf, let's talk about Anderson, the game of 2 halves tonight. You know, first half, what was your thoughts on Anderson and how do you rate him in the second half?
Yeah, well, it's chalk and cheese, really. First half, you know, he was industrious, he was trying, he was driving at goal. You know, he had opportunities to pull the trigger of shots on goal, but he never seems to do it, does he? Second half, the game just went away from him. He was making lots of mistakes, lots of misplaced passes. He was losing possession. You know, they were just nipping the ball off
really
him
easily.
Yeah, really easily. You know, and it was just a poor performance. You know, if anything, you know, he should have been subbed. He should have been subbed. It's interesting. A couple of comments coming through about, you know, why weren't we making subs? You know, is there a conspiracy there? Is Sullivan instructed Moyes not to make any subs, not to go for this game? You know, what must the players think about this? Are they in on it? They knew that the subs were never going to be made. You know, it kind of beggars belief that we, you know, gone through the whole game there. Should have been chasing the game, but they didn't.
It's one of two things with the subs. It's either Moyes is making a point that we need players and he needs to get some players in, or like I said in the game, I said during the game at the end, Moyes doesn't care about the cup because Moyes has got no financial motivation to win the cup.
Either way, to me, Matt, is unacceptable. That's just unacceptable.
It is. Yeah. As I said, don't forget he done this the first time he came in.
Yeah.
Don't forget the first time he came in, Bilic got us to a quarter-final against Arsenal.
I remember. Yeah, I know.
When Arsenal
they put out a weak team, and we
could have won it, but he refused to put Sacco on the bench.
Yeah.
The same way today, it's like we said, at 2-1, make subs to change and go after the game, but he wouldn't do it. And then once it got to 3-1, you're like, well, there's no point now. He won't risk the players getting injured. We've always said he's very reactive rather than proactive. And admittedly, you can't say Ancelotti was proactive today because all his subs were from injuries.
Yeah.
But at no point at 1-1 or 2-1 did you ever think someone's going to come on there. We were crying out for subs, and we always do. And Moyes is very defensive on his subs. He doesn't like rocking the boat too much. But when it's not working out, you need to make subs, and he didn't.
And tonight really was the difference really was, the last couple of rounds, the players have gained momentum, gained a bit of confidence, but we were playing League One opposition. And tonight you could really see that we were playing the Premier League, because every time, say, West Ham lost the ball or were dispossessed, the first player to the ball was the Premier League player, the opposition player, Everton player. Whereas when we were playing Hull and Charlton, not that I'm trying to take away from those performances, they were fantastic. I loved them. It made me feel really good. They made me feel a bit rosy inside. But at the end of the day, if West Ham hit a shot and it was deflected, we were first to the ball in those games, and tonight we weren't. And that's the difference. I mean, listen, Fabian Delph, I mean, he absolutely, apart from, behind Rodriguez, you just looked behind and you thought that guy is just sweeping up absolutely everything that came through that Everton midfield. Like, Everton's weakness was the defence, but Fabian Delph never allowed that problem to really get to them, to be honest.
Look, we were outplayed tonight. We were outplayed. Tactics let us down.
Put it this way, all right? Who's your man of the match from West Ham? But not the game, because that would be Hammers. I think everyone agree on that. But from West Ham, who's your best player?
It's a really tough question.
I think the only player that I was actually all round happy with, and he conceded 4 goals, was Randolph.
Yeah.
I thought Yarmolenko
Creswell was all right.
Yeah, I thought Yarmolenko did
Johnson was all right. In front of them, Snoddy was all right, but the rest of them I thought were below par. In fairness, I don't think Rice had a great game.
Yeah, I think we had a couple of players in the second half who really had a poor second half. I think just for the most part,
it should have been more.
And because we didn't make any substitutions, you couldn't change the game. It couldn't affect that. So,
listen, let's get into some of the comments and then we'll head off for the night, because that will be our review. I mean, there's nothing else really to say.
No,
John you said none play well.
Yeah, none played well.
Yeah, I don't think so. Yeah.
Anderson needs to go, and we should get Gerard Deulofeu. I mean, I like Deulofeu. I think he's a good shout, to be honest.
How long was he out injured for, though? Because he had a big injury, didn't he?
Oh, did he? I didn't know that.
Back in whenever Watford beat Liverpool, he done his ACL.
Yeah. Pete Chapman, another bet down the Swanee, of course, mate. Yeah. Pete, surely to God you know never to bet on West Ham. I mean, we're the most inconsistent team to bet on.
Especially in the cup.
Over the weekend, and I don't put West Ham in my accumulator.
Yeah.
I never pick them, because you never, even as a West Ham fan, you don't know what West Ham team is going to turn up.
There you go, Alf. Your face says it all from Scott.
I
wonder what transfer news will be out tomorrow. I saw 2 today online. I mean, listen, it's West Ham, and that's what happens. We've got ITKs all over the shop. And let me just remind you, when we do a transfer show, we're not saying that they're coming to the club. We're just trying to find out information on them and see what they could potentially bring to us. So let's hope we do bring in some strength, but I don't think it's going to happen.
I'm an NITK.
Not in the know.
Not in the know. Yeah.
Not in the know. All right.
Jazz, the word subs is not allowed. Bored of the subject. Forget it. Move on.
Jazz, subs not allowed.
Look, you're right.
I think that's Moyes' notebook, isn't it?
You're right, Jazz. But the problem is, it's so crucial, isn't it? That's the problem. It's so crucial.
Jazz, I get your intention from that comment, and I know you've said before when you come on the channel, you feel like a lot of people slag off Moyes. I'm not like a total Moyes basher, but I do get frustrated because I do think there are several occasions and several games that I could, be interesting to do a video on to know that if we had made subs, things could have, when West Ham are on top. When West Ham are on top, it doesn't mean you don't make a substitution. When West Ham are down, it doesn't mean you don't make a substitution. But when you just don't make substitutions as a whole and do it in the last 5 minutes when you're down 3-1 or whatever, it just defeats the purpose. And like Alf said, there's a reason why substitutions are there, and there's a reason why you need a squad. And I can't help but think that substitutions tonight could, not saying would have, but it may have made it a little bit easier, especially when we were on the up. But
look, let's not get wrong. This. Your players aren't playing well or being outplayed. You could question your own tactics, and you say the only way you can change that, affect that in a game, is by bringing on substitutions. That's the only way the manager can actually effectively change a bad situation, or go pile on the pressure on your opposition, and that's the only way. And he didn't do that. So if he didn't do that, then you're basically just throwing the game away.
I just want to quickly address this comment though from Scott. I think Noble's time is up. I don't think his time is up. I think he needs to be used in a better manner.
Yeah.
I think tonight I maybe understood why he started tonight, because he's just back from an injury. But either way, I don't think he needs to start for West Ham moving forward. I think he needs to come on to shore up. Yeah. But then again, we don't like making subs, therefore we probably won't get the Noble we want to see.
Yeah.
Well, let's not get it wrong. I mean, we're not, we're saying about subs playing if, buts, ands, or maybes. We're saying what could have happened. But at the end of the day, if you don't make the sub, nothing will happen. If you're not creating anything, if Anderson's not creating anything and Lanzini's not creating anything, what's the problem in making the sub? Because it can't be any worse than what you've already got on the pitch.
Yeah.
As for Noble, I think you're right. I think today was just to get him minutes. But I think Noble, he's got a place in the squad, and I could see him bringing him on for if we've got 15 minutes to go shutting up a game. But he can't be starting because he's not.
Yeah.
It does slow the game up.
Ross, you're saying maybe Moyes' stream was behind it. It was too late to make subs. Absolutely. Josh, you're saying Anderson can go. Robert, you're saying the game was crying out for Antonio to drive at Everton. And to be fair, mate, I think it could have made a difference if Antonio was there driving at Everton and then maybe giving more support to Haller. I think I said during the match day live that I did notice the big gaps opening up between Lanzini and Haller up the top there. Forever, Mick, how are you? Hi all. Did anyone have a bell? There was no. Yeah, mate, you would have won a
They wouldn't
fortune.
give you good odds, mate. It would have been not
Alf, if I wasn't at work, I'd be 2 to 3 bottles in after that performance.
I saw that comment, Scott. That's why I raised my glass to you.
Neil Tick, we are bang in trouble if Antonio gets injured this year. Scott, absolutely. Anton, bang on. Can't remember what I said. Gary Page, question: How much do we pay players to come on as subs? We never were making any Sully too tight. Don't know, mate. Save that for another show. I was really looking forward to watching Anderson tonight. How wrong can you be? I'm disappointed, to be honest.
I
Can't help it.
was, yeah.
Mick, rumour is that no subs were used because Sully would have to pay appearance money. I really hope that's not true.
No, I mean, there will be clauses, but I can't believe that he wouldn't do it for it.
Yeah. I'm skipping lots of comments here, but I'm just going to get to some of them. The nitty gritty. Did Haller get any service tonight from Pete Chapman? No.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, that one cross from Yarmolenko when he hit the bicycle kick.
Yeah, that's about it.
Yeah. NWO police. Nope. Haller wants too much time on the ball, but does get isolated. I don't know if he does genuinely want too much time on the ball. I genuinely don't think West Ham play to their strikers' strengths. I really believe it. We've got history. We've got history of doing it. So, Fornal should have came on for Anderson. I mean,
anyone should have come on for Anderson.
I think Masuaku would have been a better shout.
Put Ashby on. Ashby would have made a difference.
Yeah.
Scott, you were on the match day live. Neil, Anderson was ugly. He wasn't playing well, as we said. Gary Page, Moyes being told not to care about the cups. Like you said, Matt, he's got no incentive.
He's got no financial incentive because he only gets a bonus if we don't get relegated.
Yeah.
And also, what's Moyes going to think when Sullivan goes on TalkSport and moans that he's got to pay 50 grand to get a flight up to Everton for a cup game because we don't make any money out of it?
Yeah.
Just jumping through some comments there. Will Lewis, great win for the Toffees. Best of luck for the rest of the season from an Everton fan.
Oh, mate, I hope they win. I hope they go on and win it because I'm sick of seeing the same teams win it. And it's been both us and Everton have been so long without a cup, but I generally hope Everton go on and win it.
Yeah.
Robert, I'm going to pick up on this point here. Come on, lads. We've got to try and pick ourselves up. We're going to win at Leicester on Sunday. Come on, West Ham. Listen, no, but do you know what? You've got to take what he's saying here. Listen, the 11 that started against Wolves was different to the 11 that started tonight.
Yeah.
And you know what? It would not surprise me in the slightest.
And Matt, we turned up, and Alf, we turned up, and Robert, you're saying it as well. We turned up and beat Wolves 4-0. Not many teams will turn up and beat Wolves 4-0 this season. I genuinely still don't believe many teams will turn up and beat Wolves 4-0.
Yeah.
So I don't look at tonight's game and think I'm imploding. I'm pissed off because we're not in the cup.
Exactly.
I'm pissed off because we're not in the cup, but I don't know if this will be a hangover and go into the next game against Leicester. Leicester are a fantastic opposition, though, and I think we will probably typically struggle as long as we don't do any crazy tactical decisions like he did tonight. I still think there is places for players that are currently playing tonight, potentially in the future of West Ham.
There is, but no one played their way in tonight.
I think he basically played a team tonight that was it was a bit no man's land team. It wasn't really the Carabao Cup team, and it wasn't really the Premier League team. It was a little bit of both. They weren't really playing to their strengths.
It was a team to just play in a game that was just awkward and in the way that he wasn't worried about.
I tell you what, credit where credit's due. Ancelotti wants the cup. He's putting out a strong side. They've got strength and depth in their squad. You can slag off Iwobi all you want, but if he cuts inside and pretends to be the striker when he's playing on the wing, then that's what you want. He shoots. He created an opportunity tonight. They've got Calvert-Lewin, who's a young centre forward who's getting fed left, right, and centre. Their backup players in midfield are Sigurdsson. We all know Sigurdsson's very capable of penetrating the defence any moment at all. They've got James Rodriguez, who's their top-notch midfielder, who's keeping Sigurdsson out of the team. well played, Everton. Fair play.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
So,
Right.
listen, any last comments before we head?
No.
We're going to win on Sunday now because it's the West Ham way.
Yeah. Yeah. On to the next game. On to Leicester. That's it.
Let's remain positive. Thank you very much for watching. You've got to just, of course, subscribe, hit the bell notification, and you'll see whenever we do a show. Get your comments in and hit the thumbs up or hit the thumbs down if you, whatever. I don't know. It's up to you. Do what you want. But make sure you do subscribe to the channel, and we'll be back over the next couple of days with another show. Right. And see you on Sunday. And
Cheers,
I've been Anton. He's been Alf. He's been Matt. Come on, you irons.